Welcome back to the Smugsy Show. I'm Smugsy, your host, Barstool Cougar. My pronouns are first and third person. I should say I'm identifying as the Barstool Cougar. I hope someday to officially be the Barstool Cougar, but until then, I'm kind of faking it until you make it, which leads me to the first segment of the Smugsy Show, Slinging It with Smugsy. This week I'm going to go out on a limb and predict that Donald Trump wins in November, in large part because he's writing his own narrative. He's creating his own reality. For instance, he says that he's the best thing for black people since Abe Lincoln. Meanwhile, we've got gangs of white thugs committing domestic terrorism, right-wing violence in levels we haven't seen, basically a race war, disproportionate number of people being killed by COVID who are black. Trump says he's created the strongest economy ever, in the world, and meanwhile we have a recession and record levels of deficit and debt. He says that he's the champion of COVID, like he's the superhero, and the numbers say that the United States has the highest numbers of cases, of deaths. We've got 4% of the population. We've got like over 20% of the cases. I mean, it's really bad. But if you don't know that he's lying, he sounds good and he looks good. He puts on a good show, and so fans of the Kirk Minahan show, for instance, they believe him. They believe what he says, and he tells jokes, and laughter is welcome, and he says that Americans want job and not empathy, and I think he's right about that. So you heard it from me, Smugsy. Speaking of writing your own narrative, Donald Trump might win thanks to the Kirk Minahan show. Speaking of the Kirk Minahan show, Smugsy, yours truly. Yes, I was a product of the Kirk Minahan show. But now I'm something else. I've changed. I've evolved. And why is that? Well, because I can. Because it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I've grown to really love Barstool. First of all, I love Dave Portnoy. I think he's hysterical. I think Erica Nardini. The Erica Nardini package is very attractive. I mean, her podcast, her story, her fashion. It's fun, and I love. Two Bigs podcast, Willie Colon and Brandon, love it. And I like Barstool Breakfast. So Barstool is what's keeping Smugsy, the character, here, and then, of course, there's a business challenge of it. In addition, I think, uniquely get under the skin of Kirk Minahan and the Minifans, so there's a lot to be said just about that. That's fun. So I created an LLC, marketing the Smugsy brand, taking a shot with the Smugsy show. Slinging It with Smugsy is going to be a popular feature where I comment on current events and pop culture and society, like predicting the winner of the presidential election. But I also offer programming. Cougar of the Week definitely has legs and potential. I mean, Cougar of the Week is like similar to the Barstool Smoke Show, except it's classy. It's the Barstool Cougar enables me to monetize my white privilege to make the world a better place, and like identifying Cougars of the Week, I think, is a part of that. But it really has dawned on me that if I'm going to cut it at Barstool as the Barstool Cougar and engage in this fresh content, who's the Cougar of the Week, who's the Barstool Cougar of the Week, I need a man. I need some yang to like mix in with Smugsy's yin, if you know what I mean. Yang, a little Y chromosome. So who should be the man co-host of Cougar of the Week? I nominate KFC first and foremost. He's dashing and vulnerable, and he really did a nice job with that interview with Brandon Walker. KFC reminds me of the character O'Callahan on the 1984 Olympics movie The Miracle. I mean, it's kind of sad what happened to the real actor, but KFC would be good co-host male for Cougar of the Week. Brandon Walker. I mean, if it's true that he's actually married to a woman who speaks 4 languages, that's amazing, given what he does for Barstool. I mean, showing his stomach and the morning sunshine. So that, I mean, that's a conundrum, really, and makes me think that Brandon Walker would be a good co-host to judge Cougar of the Week. I mean, he's not a Mississippi moron, I guess. I apologize, Brandon. I did put you in a box with Kirk Minahan based on your first interview with him, but I see breadth there, and Brandon Walker, a little bit like Troy's father on High School Musical, though, the basketball coach, Troy Bolton, the dad, Coach Bolton. Brandon Walker reminds me a little bit of him, but that's not a bad thing. It's just that. So Steve Robinson, also good nomination to serve as the male co-host. He is the one who introduced Smugsy to Barstool, and is a political rival of hers, and so it'd be like keeping enemies close. And then finally, Erica Nardini's dog, Tuca. So KFC, Brandon Walker, Steve Robinson, or Tuca. Who do you want to be male co-host of the Cougar of the Week content here on the Smugsy Show? You can vote on Twitter at SmugsyGirl. There'll be a poll question, or you can call the Smugsy studio and place a voice vote. 207-747-7044. That's 207-747-7044. So, why is a coastal elite like myself cosplaying on Barstool Sports? Well, it's fun. It's fun for me. It's fun for you. So subscribe to the show. And until next time, this is Smugsy signing off.